So today we're talking equipment and we're doing a What's in My Camera Bag 2020. So since I'm going to be in the desert and Vegas when this is uploaded, everything that is in here is kind of packed specifically for this trip, and I'll kind of explain kind of why I chose those things, but this is not like my everyday carry or everything. This is literally more specific to the trip that I'm going to be taking. So first we're going to start off with the camera bag itself. So this is the Boston camera bag from Bag Smart, and they did have a New York version, but unfortunately it didn't fit enough gear. And if you are a Yankees fan, you would understand why I'm upset, because the Red Sox are from Boston and the Red Sox suck. So this can hold up to a 15-inch laptop. It has a tripod holder on the side, as well as a quick compartment to quickly access your camera. Then it also comes with a rain protector, because the last thing you want is for your gear to get wet. So compared to other camera backpacks out there, this is on the cheaper side, but it is still very well high quality made, and it protects your gear, which is obviously the most important thing. So this is me wearing the bag. I'm not a very big person, only about, 5'5". So the fact that this is kind of, normal size and not too big for me is kind of perfect. Alright, so first on the shoulder straps here, on the left is a, GoPro mount that's just, Velcro to the sleeve. I got this off of Amazon. So this is just for like POV stuff, or if, I need to quickly access my GoPro, I can do that. And then on the left here, I have the Peak Design Capture Clip. This is just the mount. The tripod head is on my film camera. So this is just kind of like a quick access to put my film camera here. So then if I'm carrying, my main camera, which I'm recording on, I don't have so many straps to, deal with while I'm hiking in the desert. And then a little keychain that I have on the outside is my little Vans Old School. This is just kind of like a cute little keychain I have. Just because, Vans are my favorite shoe to wear, and I'm always wearing them. And then it's also kind of just a good indicator for when I'm in the dark for shooting concerts, recognize my bag quickly. So I do also have a little zipper to the main compartment where, my camera and kind of most expensive stuff would be. And this is just because it is a front access compartment. So if anyone, tries to open it, my stuff, wouldn't be falling out, or people would be trying to steal it. So that's kind of just why I have this here as a safety precaution. So in the laptop compartment, I have my 13-inch MacBook Pro. As you can see, it is covered with stickers, and it's kind of a mess on the outside, but yeah, that's my laptop. And then we're going to jump into one of the little pouches on the outside. So the clips are just magnetic, so all you do is undo them, and then they just snap right open. So the first thing in here is the rain cover that comes with the bag. I just keep this with me kind of wherever I go, because living in California, you never know when it's going to rain. And then in this compartment, I also just kind of keep some random things, like AA batteries for stuff, some GoPro stuff to mount to my car, or just kind of anything that I see I need it to. Sharpie, just in case. Let's see, 3 extra camera batteries, because you never want to have a dead camera, because that's no good. I also have a little card thing to hold my business cards. I kind of just, keep these around, just to give out to people. And they also look kind of fancy, be like, oh, here's my card, stuff like that. And the last things that I keep in here are just AAA batteries, and then the little tool that comes for my capture clip to take the plate off a camera, stuff like that. Next, we're moving into the main camera compartment. Now, on the back side, there's also a little mesh lining with a zipper. And then inside that, I keep a little dongle that can charge and play my music at the same time. Because you've got to have a lot of dongles when you're with Apple. And then in here, these are my Maverick Air ND filters for my drone. And then when I'm using my drone, I'll just slip these in my pocket. Just so if I need to quickly change my filter. I don't have to open up the bag and go through kind of that whole hassle. And then other stuff that I kind of just keep in my pocket as well is a little micro SD card for like my drone or GoPro. Again, keep it in the pocket just for like quick access if something is full. And then last thing is just a little micro cloth. Again, keep it in my pocket because I have the tendency to keep touching my lens all the time, which is not great. So that's why I just keep it in my pocket at this point on. So now we're going to jump into the camera gear itself. So the camera that I'm using to record this is my main camera. It is the Nikon Z6, and then the lens attached to it is the 14-30. So it's a good camera, lightweight, and then the lens is a great focal range for, those wide shots. And then if I need to, I can also get some closer shots with it as well. And then stuff that I don't really have a space for, but just kind of fits nicely on top, would be my hard drive. This is a 2 terabyte LaCie Rugged Pro. I found that 2 terabytes, is a good amount of storage because it can hold a lot of stuff, but not, too much stuff. For like if something happens to this, you're screwed. And then you just have, the adapter to plug it to my computer. And then also another dongle. This is a XQD card reader that just plugs right into my laptop. So because this is a newer camera and Nikon changed the mount on their lenses from F to Z, this is just a F to Z lens adapter. So you put the Z part, into the camera body itself, and then you just put your F lens right on here. And then this works, perfectly fine, and you don't lose any image quality when you're adapting an F lens to it, which is great. And then speaking of F lenses, this is the 24-70 2.8. This is a great lens that I use a lot for concerts because it's really great in low lighting. And since I am going to Vegas for, like for the nighttime stuff, this would just be, a great lens for that. And then the last lens that I have here is the 18-105. So this would kind of go with me when I'm like hiking and stuff, because it's for the 14-30, just to get that extra, length in case I need it for that. And then we also got some lenses for my 35mm film camera. So the first one here is a 55mm 1.8, and then the second is a 28mm 3.5. So they just give me 2 different ranges for my film camera if I want. So as you can see here, I do not have any back lens protectors on here. For a while, I didn't even have the front lens caps. So I am kind of slowly, working my way to protect my film camera gear. So then underneath those 2 lenses, I have my 35mm film camera. And as you're wondering why there is pink gaff tape on here, that is because I do not have a cap to protect my sensor. So that is just there to make sure no dust gets in there. And then on the bottom, I just have the tripod part to the capture clip. So this is the Pentax Spokmatic. This is the first film camera I ever got. So I do have the most lenses for it, but it's just a great film camera. And it's, I get great photos from it, so that's kind of just why I still, bring it along with me. And then we also have my drone. So this is the DJI Mavic Air, the first edition, and then I just kind of keep it in this hard, plastic travel case just to make sure it's extra protected. And then we just kind of have some more, odds and ends here that I can kind of fit in wherever. So this is the controller for my drone. And then we also have the charger for my camera batteries because, you gotta have them charged. And then we also have my light meter here for my film cameras. I don't, need to rely on this, but it is still, just handy to have around with you. And then last thing in here is just a filter for my 24-70 lens. So this is a star-crossed filter, and if you can see here, it has little crosses across it, kind of going all the way, and this kind of gives you like little star effects in your photos. I use this a lot for my concert photos. So I thought this would just, be cool to use when I'm in Vegas at night, just to kind of get those cool effects on my photos. So that is everything in the bottom compartment of my bag. Now we're going to move on to the top. So on the top here, it's the same as the bottom. It's just magnetically connected. And then once you open it up, there is a zipper on the outside as well that's hidden by the fold. And then the things in here aren't necessarily camera-related stuff, which is kind of, more necessities that I use for traveling. So stuff like my mounts for my laptop, because I don't really like using a trackpad when I'm editing. And then I also have a remote that just plugs into my camera for doing time-lapse videos, because with the Z6 it does have the feature to do time lapses, but it does it so at the end it just gets compressed into a video file. And I find that with the videos you don't have as much editing capacity as you do with a raw file. So that's just kind of why I use this to take pictures to do time lapses. And then I also have a face mask because it's still, important to wear when you're going out just to protect yourself and others. Also have a little hand sanitizer as well to make sure your hands are nice and clean. A little Tylenol bottle in here that has Tylenol and ibuprofen just because, if I am carrying around a heavy backpack and since I will be in the desert, to avoid headaches, just kind of stuff like that. I do also have some gum in here, just because I like to, kind of be chewing gum all the time. And then last thing that I just keep in this compartment is a pen and a little notebook. So in the notebook, I'll just kind of have stuff written out, kind of plan for the trip I am taking, just, stuff like that, like where we're going and just like what film I'm going to use from where. Just kind of because, I like to plan out so I can get, as many photos or shots as I can. And then the last part in the bag is just this little top part that is connected with a drawstring. So in here, I keep my bag of film, because you've got to have a bag of film with you. So in here, I have some Portra 400 120. I also have some Kodak Ultramax for my 35mm camera as well. Also have a roll of Portra 400 for my 35mm camera as well. Then we got one roll of black and white film. This is Kodak TMY 400 for my Hasselblad. I don't really shoot black and white, but I just kind of have this, like a just in case with me. And then last thing I have in here is a CineStill 800. So I'm going to use this for like some nighttime stuff in Vegas. I also use this film a lot to shoot concerts, so it's really great for low light situations. Alright, so next thing in here is my Hasselblad medium format film camera. I just keep it nice and protected in this Nikon case that came with my 14-24 lens. So here is my Hasselblad 500 cm. This thing shoots 6x6 photos, so it's a nice square ratio for Instagram pictures, and I just kind of like the tight ratio sometimes, so it's just like your pictures don't feel too wide and you just get like that nice small tight crop. I also just like that sound it makes when taking pictures. It's very, very satisfying. And then the last thing that I have in here is just my 70-200 2.8. So the reason I'm bringing this is just kind of just for when I'm in Vegas. There's going to be, a lot more people there, and they're kind of not really social distancing as much. So this is just kind of as a safety precaution to kind of keep my distance as much as possible. Alright, so that is everything that is in my camera bag. Definitely a lot lighter when there's not all my stuff in it. But yeah, that's just kind of everything that I am bringing along for my trip. Alright, so I will try and put as many links as possible in the description down below to the gear I'm using. So like I mentioned earlier, everything that was in my bag is kind of specific for this trip that I'm taking. This by no means is not my everyday carry. Like, I don't just bring this 70-200 around with me everywhere I go. This thing is huge. It's the size of my head. I only bring this when I absolutely need it, which is not that much, but yeah, like this is literally the stuff that I fine-tuned specific, and that's just kind of, what I'm bringing on my trip.